welcome to episode 3 of Drinking Beer with Don. As you recall, if you've seen any of the previous 2 episodes, we do two things. We look at the Cascadia Beer Advent Calendar, sampling a beer every day, and then we look at the Missouri Star Quilting Advent Calendar, checking out what Carolyn gets every day. So we'll start with the beer. For today's beer, day number 9, we've got something from the Wolf Brewing Company right out of, well, a local brewery to me, Nanaimo. It's called a Black and Tan, which is the type of beer is a Black and Tan. So there's nothing too original there in the sense that it's named from what it is, which is a mix of a dark and a light beer. Usually Guinness, if it's coming out of England. It's a British style beer. And for the tan, usually an ale, a pale ale, or even a lager, but definitely something on the lighter side. So, here's the can. It's from Wolf Brewing. And let's give the beer a shot. Nice head to it. Oh, once again, I gotta turn the glass. See, it's not a Kilkenny. It's a Black and Tan. This is featuring a skillfully blended combination of our golden honey ale and dark malt porter, giving you the best of both worlds. An easy drinking, medium bodied, and balanced ale, offering a wonderfully complex flavor profile from 7 different malt varieties and raw local honey. Well, that, in fact, why I decided to read that, because when I had a sniff, the first thing I said, oh, there's a porter in here. It's got that very nutty scent. So let's give it a shot. It says advertised. I'm not jumping for joy because it's exactly what it is. It's a mix of a dark beer and a light beer. So I'm trying to determine where it sits on the scale of likability. I can taste the porter and I can taste the honey ale. Do they go well together is the question. They can. They're not bad. It is medium bodied, as the note says. It is easy drinking. I'm having a hard time with this because it doesn't strike me as being one thing, and it doesn't show us, a strength in anything. It's it's rounded, it's nice, but it's not, oh wow. So, scoring it, I'm going to give it a high 7s. I'm going to give it a 7.8. It's a good beer. It's not, in my opinion, a great beer, but it's okay. 7.8 is not bad. Cheers. All right, for day 9's Quilty Treasure, Carolyn received Embroidery Scissors. So, you're thinking, well, okay, scissors, well, that makes sense. Sure, it does make sense, because when you're quilting, especially when you're doing some detail work and you've got a lot of little threads sticking around from how you've been quilting or sewing, you need something to snip the threads. And you can use normal scissors that are big, but when you're doing a lot of finicky work, it's nice to have these little guys. And ask me how I know. If you'd seen Quilting with Don, you know that I've quilted and I've used scissors like that because they are handy. So it's a good thing to have. Carolyn is pleased with them, and that is what she got for day 9 from Missouri Star. All right, welcome to day 10 of the Cascadia Advent Calendar and the Missouri Star Advent Calendar. So, but first, before I get on to the beer tasting, let me show you something special. All right, so a few of you have seen the background, which is my bar. So I thought I'd give you a quick overview of it. So, lower shelf. Here we are. You might get the impression that I like whiskey, and you would be right. I do. Then you get the middle shelf. Of course, you're only seeing some of the bottles. I'll see if I can get a better angle so you can see the ones in the back row. But what you haven't seen, there's also a top shelf. Oh, and more whiskey. Yeah. Also what you get is all my beer glasses. And other glasses. Martini, whiskey. Get the idea. And on the other side, of course, there's more glasses. I do like Belgian beer. We lived there for 6 years. And a lot of my glasses are Belgian. Every Belgian beer has its own glass. That's the cool thing. So there we have it. As you can tell, I have a bit of whiskey at the bar. And this is what makes this next beer selection potentially impressive. We're going to find out. It's called an Imperial Red from Longwood Brewery in Nanaimo, just down the road. So I'll read what the can has. It says, "Our Harvest Ale is a full-flavored brew featuring our favorite fall fruits. It's our humble celebration of abundance and the autumn harvest, barrel aged in our beauteous distilled rye and whiskey barrels." So you start to see why I think I might like this. It includes pears, plums, and apples in the fruit mix, and it's 8.5% alcohol. So it's an Imperial, which means it's strong, or kingly, if you will. And it's got a lot of things I think I might like. So let's find out. Here we are. Ooh, once again, glass the wrong way. Here's the Imperial Red. Cheers. Mm-hmm. You can smell and taste the fruits. Oh, and it's nice. It's got a touch of bitterness. Maybe that's the hops. Or you know what? This might be one of my favorite beers so far. It is a full flavor, absolutely. It's got kick to it. It's got flavor. It's got the fruitiness. It's just a touch sweet. It's sweet because it's sweet and bitter at the same time. So it's an interesting mix. And it's definitely a fall beer. This is not something you drink in the summer. This is fall or winter beer. And I like it. I'm going to give it a score of 9.0 because it is that good. It's into the 9 territory. So I hope you go out and find this thing, the Imperial Red from Longwood Brewery. I'm going to have to go down to the brewery and check it out on tap. Slàinte. For Carolyn's quilty stuff, she got a package with 4 things in it. And I'm going to show you this first. You're going to say, what the heck is this? It's called, Flat Jenny. So it's Jenny Doan from Missouri Star. And here you have a cutout of her with her arms up. Well, why would you do that? Okay, I'll give you another hint. It came with this design card for pom-poms and tassels, one on each side. Starting to figure it out yet? Okay, so then it came with a crochet hook. Hard to see in the camera, 3D, but it's a crochet hook. So the final key to what was delivered is this bundle of yarn. So when you put it all together, you get yarn or crochet hook, a pattern, and in fact, this Flat Jenny is so you wrap it around her arms, I think, and then you can get a ball, and then you can wrap up into a pom-pom or a tassel. So that's what it's all about. Maybe go long ways for a tassel and a crossways for a pom-pom. Don't know. But that's, I think, how it all goes together. Okay, we're at day 11 of Cascadia and Missouri Star Advent Calendars, obviously December 11th. Today, we have an IPA. An IPA specifically from Vancouver Island Brewery. It's called Deep Sea, and it's 8% alcohol. So we're off to an interesting start. The notes on the can say, "Juicy tropical IPA will leave you mesmerized by its character and charm. Experience the essence of what lies below the surface." Why they call it Deep Sea. So it's an IPA. I'm expecting hops, but according to this, obviously it's juicy and tropical. Let's have a sniff. I smell the hops. I get a bit of citrus. I think it'll be more evident when we try it. So let's do that. Yeah, I get both right away. I get hops, but it's an IPA. So these days it's an average on the hoppiness. It's not crazy. But it's, I'm going to guess it's around IBU 60, IBU 70. Maybe the website will tell me, but it's not bad. And the citrus is there. You know what? Sometimes on a strong beer, you can't really feel how strong it is. This one, there's something about it that says, yep, it's got some kick to it. I wouldn't want to be drinking these all night. I would not survive the evening. But it's good. It's good for 2. Good for 2 beer, I think. Score-wise, I think it's going to have to be in the 8 range because it's a reasonably done beer. It's solid. So here we go. It's a solid IPA. As far as IPAs go, I think it's one of the better ones. So for that reason, I'm going to give it an 8.6. 8.6. This is a pretty good IPA from Vancouver Island Brewing. Go out and try one. Cheers. Okay, Carolyn today opened up her package to find. First, I'll show you the instructions, and it says a simple strap key fob. So it tells you how to make a key fob where you sew a piece of fabric onto into a band and attach a thing at the end, and that's what she got in her package, is a thing on the end. So it's a key ring, obviously, or maybe that's because it's for fob. You sew the the fabric on the end, and you attach your keys to the other end, and away you go. So there you have it. Another quilty treat and I think Carolyn's going to do one of these too, because why not? You guys have a good one. Cheers. Day 12 of the Cascadia and Missouri Star Advent calendars. So this is halfway point. 12 days in. We'll start with the beer, as usual. Today's beer is called a Beech Blonde Ale. It's from the Beech Fire Brewing Company in Camel River. Actually, I've been to that brewery. They do have good beer. Not that I'm situating the estimate here, but as it were, the notes on the can and the light website say it is a light, refreshing, and flavorful beer. A perfect pour for a hot day at the beach, or wherever you find yourself soaking up the West Coast sun. A clean, light body with a touch of malt sweetness, this balanced brew sports a subtle hop bitterness and flavor. So, it's a blonde ale. The blonde ale I know locally is the Mount Aerosmith Blonde, which is also very good. So we're going to see how this does. Oh, yes, here's the can. Da-da-da. Right, now, I just came back from a Grey Cup party, and the right team won. Go Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I mean, of the two, there was no way I wanted to vote for Hamilton. Sorry, guys. Anyone that's a Hamilton Ticats fan, yeah, no. So the right team won, even though I would have loved to have seen the BC Lions there. But here we are, now, post-party, post-game, drinking a beer. It smells light. It smells refreshing. Oh, and it tastes that way too. This is quite nice. It is a simple beer. It is not complex. It is refreshing. This would be a good summer beer. Absolutely. I can recommend this one. It's going to be in the 8 range for sure. The hops are subtle. It's this is an easy drinking beer with flavor. So they do it all right. This Beech Blonde Ale is okay on my books. 5.2% alcohol, so it's not a strong beer either. And yeah, I can definitely recommend it. I'm going to give it, comparing it to, for example, the IPA I had yesterday and some of the other high-scoring 8s. It's not as noteworthy, but it's a well-done beer. So it's going to be a low 8s. I'm going to say an 8.2 or 3. I'm going to 8.3. So I can recommend the Beech Blonde Ale. It's a regular beer for them. I believe it's still available. Cheers. All right, so the quilty thing that Carolyn got today is glue. It's called Free Fuse. What this does is you pour these sprinkles into this little container here and you sprinkle them on fabric, and then you put the two fabrics together and you iron them. And the glue that's in between them will bond them. They call it a semi-permanent bond. It'd be good for things like applique and all that. But I talked to Carolyn about this. She says, yeah, that's all cute, but it'd be better to get the fusible web that I think I showed you in one of the previous videos, because that way you can cut exactly what you want. You don't have this glue mess everywhere by sprinkling it on. So good idea, I suppose, in concept, but it doesn't receive Carolyn's thumbs up, so it's probably going to go on a shelf. But there we are. All right, to recap episode 3 and the 4 beers we've had, my favorite beer of this, in fact, my favorite beer so far is this Imperial Red. Dark, a little bit sweet, rich. It is a wonderful beer. And if you can find this Harvest Ale from Longwood Brewery out in Nanaimo, you would not go wrong. It is a really, really good beer. Another positive note is the beer in this episode were all pretty good. The lowest score was 7.8 for a black and tan, and I said it was just because it was, wasn't anything particularly special. We had a good IPA. With the one I just rated was very good too. So yeah, it's been a good week, and I'm looking forward to next week, the next four beer. Now, of note, you may have noticed, and I'm sure this is intentional, every single beer so far, touch wood, has been from the island, from Vancouver Island, and I'm looking forward to seeing if the rest are as well. It really shows how far craft brewing and beer in general has progressed on Vancouver Island. We live in a great place, so I'm really excited by that. So stay tuned for episode 4, which should be out in 4 days, give or take. And we'll see where we go with that. You guys have a great one. Cheers.